Welcome, good morning to the Daily Vibe for Tuesday, June 13th. I had already shuffled and laid these out and then had like a crazy coughing spell, so I'm just starting out. But these are what we laid out for the Daily Vibe for Tuesday, June 13th. I'm going to do a Daily Vibe through every day of June, so welcome to join me. Come check out what it's all about. The Moon in Reverse, Death and Judgment. So we have all major arcana cards today. This could be feeling like a day where things are sort of happening to you versus you having more autonomy of how you're feeling or how you're acting or what's happening today. That's usually the vibe with major arcana cards. You're kind of living in the season versus the minor arcana cards kind of speak to times where we feel like we have more choice in what's happening. So we start off with the moon here, which is usually a time of darkness, not really seeing clearly, not feeling clearly. The moon, it could be subject to a lot of emotional changes, right? Waning, waxing, full. And then there's usually a couple of animals on the moon card. One is domesticated, one is wild. It's really asking us, how are we going to act through times of darkness? Who are we going to show up to be? What's going to come out of our deep, dark souls when we are really in the dark night of the soul and walking the path home? So in reverse, we could really, there's two ways this could work out for you today. You could feel really resistant to being in shadow, to being in a place of confusion, to being in a place of the unknown. Or it could really feel like you're coming out of confusion, like things are starting to clear up. You're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. You're going to know, given those two choices, which kind of fits right for you. Next card we have is Death here. So major transformation today. Something is dying out, but it always makes room for the new. You can see in this card, there's always like some kind of new life in the Death card. Here there's choppy waters. Maybe there's a lot of rough emotional activity today, or ways that you might be grieving something that's lost, something that's transitioning out of your life, a job, a partner, a situation, a season of life. You know, it's school is over, right? So this could even be like the grieving of losing a class that you won't have again if you're graduating from high school, going to college, like that kind of a thing. There's a death happening here, but it leads to new life. It leads to new opportunities. It leads to new paths. And this is the most beautiful card that could come right after that, which is the Judgment card, which literally shows characters rising from coffins. So it's spirit calling you up from a time where you have felt unworthy or from a time when things haven't worked out. It is literally in the image here, rising from the dead. So what a beautiful day. Judgment card really speaks to second chances. It speaks to really integrating any lessons that you've learned and rising up to start anew, projects, relationships, dating again if something hasn't worked out recently, trying again if you failed a test exam. And it usually means success. It usually means triumph. It's really the universe, God, source, picking you back up again and saying, it's time to follow your passion. It's time to be refueled by life. Get up and get to it. So this is a really beautiful trajectory today. It's time to either face your fears or really embrace the fact that you're coming out of them. A really beautiful time to lean into anything that doesn't work for you, just moving away, and lean into the grief that's a part of that, lean into any sadness that's a part of it, or maybe you're celebrating. Death doesn't always have to mean that we're down and out in these like deep, dark, sticky feelings. Maybe it's really exciting that something is passing out so you can move on to the new life that's coming for you, new opportunities, new ways of rising from ways you haven't felt good in the past. So I hope it's a really wonderful Tuesday for you. Thank you so much for being here. It's been so fun to do these, and we'll catch you next one.